Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll walk you through how to integrate Google Calendar with Laravel Socialite. Whether you are building a custom application or adding calendar functionality to your project, this tutorial will help you. Let's dive in and make your app smarter with Google Calendar.
So first of all, let us create a migration. So I'll be running the command php artisan make migration and the name of the migration, and we'll be passing a parameter that is table, which is users. So it is created. Now let us add three columns, that is access token, refresh token, and expires n. These three, because these three will be used. So access token is basically when you try to use the other APIs, like getting the events, adding the events, deleting or updating events, some like these events of Google Calendar. And access token has an expiry of 3600 seconds. So after that, it needs to be refreshed with the refresh token. So that's why we are storing refresh token also. Refresh token is generated only the first time when you authenticate your app with Google. And after that, it only gives you access token until unless you have not added additional parameter, that is the consent and prompt ones. So I'll show you that as well in upcoming video. I have migrated these three columns and added them in users table. Now let us create a controller, Google Calendar controller. So it will basically hold the calls of the redirect and callback function, which I'm going to use. And everything I'll be creating is in calendar service. So I'll be creating a class named as calendar service under services folder. So you can create these functions in controller also, but as I'm going to integrate multiple calendars, so that's why I prefer creating a common class so that can be used in multiple, controllers. So in calendar service, I'll be creating two functions. One is redirect and callback. So whenever you integrate the Google Calendar or Google Social Logins, you need these two functions. These two functions are necessary. So I'll be creating a route here. So that is auth/google/calendar/callback. And this callback route I'll be adding in my Google Cloud Console also, in this video only. But let us create a route here. Let us remove the unnecessary routes, and one would be the redirect. So when I'll click on redirect, it will redirect me to the uh, Google auth screen, and then after taking the consent, it will come back to the callback function. So I'll be creating a constructor here. There I'll be calling my service, which I just created. And inside that, I will call two functions, that is redirect and callback. So let us define a protected variable here. Define it and assign it the value calendar service. So now the this calendar service is the instance of calendar service. So let us create these functions, and inside this I'm basically calling the service functions. So normally, like I have integrated inertia whenever I create any function in controller. So basically, I pass the data into the views, but not the real programming. I do not do that in the services. So now let us create redirect and callback functions. Okay, so this is my URL. It will be called calendar/callback, and the other one is auth Google Calendar redirect. Okay, this is correct too. It is going to Google controller, and from Google controller, it is going to Google Calendar service. So I'll be passing a provider here. Like I prefer making it dynamic, but you can statically pass that to dollar provider. Mm. Return social. I'm using Socialite driver. Provider would be Google because that is the thing which I passed. Now in here, there's one new thing that is we have to add scopes here. So scopes is the URL of that particular scope which this Socialite going to include in the redirect URL. So I'll copy that the URL from the official documentation. So this is the that URL. Okay, and now let us do one thing. Let us add the redirect, I mean callback URL into our console. So I'm opening my app in Google Cloud Console. I have shown how to create this in my previous video. You can check that video. I'll add the link at the last for the same, where you can create the app in Google Cloud Console. So I have enabled Google Calendar API. I'll go to credentials. Here under this app, I'll be adding a new redirect URL. So always, if you are developing it in localhost, then you need to include the port because it will not allow localhost only to, you know, uh, and to access, sorry, to be validated in this fields. So you need to add the ports. The other URL that is for my production app, so do not need to worry about that. You have to paste your production URL if you are developing it on some like. And here I'll be adding one more parameter that is redirect underscore calendar. So basically, it contains that redirect URL of the calendar, the one which we defined /auth /google/calendar/ redirect. And here I'll be passing the other, I'll be using the other function that is redirect URL. It basically set the redirect URL. So I'm taking that from configs.services google.redirect calendar because those values I have defined in uh, services .php. So it came to callback function in which I have written I'm working. So it means it is working fine. All right. So now let us move further. So I'll be creating now callback function. So I removed the echo statement. Now in redirect, like as I mentioned in the starting that I'll be integrating Outlook calendar also. So I'm just adding if a statement so that if Google comes, then this should work. If Microsoft comes, then else statement should work because there are a slightly a little difference, slightly a little difference between those two implementations. So that's why I have put if else statement. But if you are just integrating Google, you do not need to do that. So in this video, I'll be only integrating Google only with Socialite. But if you want both Outlook and Google, then you can check my other next video also. Let us say try catch statement so that if there is any error, then I'll log that into my Laravel logs and I can check that in future. Site provider so that it tells me exactly for which provider the error came. Giving some error and okay. Let us put if us here or try. So I'll be calling the basics user function of Socialite. So the syntax goes like Socialite driver, then provider, and then user. But here there's one thing different. That is, you have to include redirect URL also. This is because I have integrated a social Google login, which I have shown in my previous videos, and I'm integrating Google Calendar, and I'm creating two different functions for them. That is just for you guys because there are not all of the developers need both of these functionalities. So those who need Google Calendar, they can check this video. Those who need Google Social, they can check the other video. Okay, so uh, let us create the same function. So this is a function, Socialite, passes provider, user, and then I'll be taking the tokens and will be updating in the uh, users table with respect to that user. Okay, so let us refresh this. Uh, things look good. This second, access token will come into refresh token. Expires. That is correct. Okay. Oh yeah. So we have to add the redirect method as well. Redirect URL, the same which we added in the during the redirect. So now let us click on this. Uh, as you can see, the access token came, but refresh and expires this didn't came because I have already authorized the app. The first time I was not able to save the refresh token. That's why it didn't came this time. So in the starting, as I have mentioned that you have to include consent and prompt. So this is how you will be including, so that every time when the user will try to connect, it will give you that prompt to have that access uh, to uh, to allow the access of Google Calendar to your app. So now when I click on this, it will redirect me to the consent screen. So I continue, continue, and it is done. Now, as you can see, the refresh token and everything came.
I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more content.